Hello and welcome back to anyone joining my channel once again. I have decided to come back at least for a little bit to talk about something that I have been kind of thinking about fairly recently when it comes to Helldivers 2. So this time is currently on the heels of the fight for Super Earth. Big invasion. It was about 2 weeks long straight that we were actually defending Super Earth. Now, that was, of course, following the big return of the Illuminate initially, which had already gotten kind of a big update. So we were fighting a lot of Illuminates beforehand on the prehensile planets just around the system of Super Earth. That meant it was more like 3, maybe 4 weeks of straight fighting Illuminates, not to mention brand new Illuminate that right now I have a feeling that are a little bit over-tweaked, if that makes sense. I feel like they're not overpowered, but there's definitely some things that need addressing, like flesh mobs being better chargers than chargers, stingrays just happening left and right, and there be no real source of when or why. Little bits, things like that. Elevated overseers constantly flying when they could use a cooldown every now and again, like rocket devastators, how they have to reload their rockets every now and again. There's just other things that I do feel like need some tweaking with the Illuminate, and that leads to my hypothesis that right now, the Illuminates have returned a bit too quickly. Now, if you don't know the story of Helldivers, essentially, after the invasion of Earth, we fought them off, and they disappeared, and they used Illuminate cloaking, and they just kind of hid throughout the galaxy for now. Now, recently, they reappeared. We managed to pierce through some of the cloaking and actually found some of their hideouts. And what I'm about to show you right now is the readouts with 2.5 days left to go in terms of the major order. Because right now, there is 4 planets to liberate, and we are only 1/3 of the way through liberating one of them. Granted, the community at large seems to be tackling the hardest planet to liberate of Mog, which Eagle Storms is there, but Eagle Storms don't help liberate planets. That's the heavy ordnance distribution. But on top of that, at the same time, looking at it from the perspective of a Destiny player, who most Destiny players decided to stop playing Destiny after the final shape, I feel like after the invasion of Super Earth, a lot of people were tired of fighting the Illuminate. Because keep in mind, there was the 3 planets ahead of Super Earth that we were fighting Illuminate on, and then Super Earth, where the whole fight was about 2 weeks. That was almost like 4 straight weeks of the major order being the Illuminate. And because of that, it got really old fighting the Illuminate. And I say really old to say really, very old. It's just an unfortunate nature of right now, the burnout regarding the Illuminate is massive. The moment some of my friends heard that we could fight something other than the Illuminate and there was a major order that was going after the bots, we were ecstatic because we could have a very good palate cleanse. But not long after that other main order, guess what? We're back into Illuminate territory, wiping up what's left of the Illuminate, and the major order itself made mention, this is not the last of the Illuminate, there is bound to be more. Which of course means, even if succeeding this major order, we're likely going to have another major order, maybe in another week, of doing another run against the Illuminate. I don't know about you, but that's just not sounding exactly enticing right now. Because aside from, like I said, the feeling of overpresence when it comes to some of the new Illuminate, and just, again, so much Illuminate, releasing them again so early was probably not the greatest idea by Arrowhead, because the Terminids are around, and as much as there is of course the meme of the bug divers not contributing to the main objective, it's been quite a long time since the Terminids have been a threat for an extended period of time. It could definitely benefit from fighting the bugs a bit more nowadays. They've kind of taken a back seat as the main threat nowadays. So yeah, desperately think that we could use some more time on the different fronts other than the Illuminate, because the burnout is real, the major order is likely to be failed, and after that point, then the Illuminate are back in a stronger presence throughout the entirety of the galaxy. And I don't think anyone's exactly excited or looking forward to fighting the Illuminate for an extended period of time again. So that is essentially all I wanted to come out and say, is that I feel like the Illuminate have returned a bit too early. And on top of that, I do feel like there needs to be some tweaking, because actually thinking about it, the bots and the bugs all have had major tweaking passes. Like I mentioned, the aforementioned rocket devastators getting their reload, and just a bunch of other things that was otherwise tweaked and fixed. The tanks getting more armor on their front, but their heads being weaker. Bile Titans being able to be killed with small arms. All you have to do is hit them in the belly a lot. Before, that wasn't a thing. There's lots of tweaks that happened to every single faction, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a single change that's happened to the Illuminate. They've just been introduced, and they added more. And there has been zero tweaking. So, I definitely think a pass could be done. But with that, that is all I really wanted to talk about today. I'm not coming back permanently. I'm not going to be back on my regular schedule per se. This is just kind of a thought I was having, and I wanted to make a quick video regarding the topic, and I will probably be picking up casual streams here in a bit. Of course, in case anyone is keeping up with what I mentioned in my last video, I am, of course, still interviewing and applying for other jobs. Looking to see how that will go, but of course, picking up my streaming, we might see how that goes. So with that, my name is the Mad Scorpion. It's nice to be back, and I will see you all in the next video.